that thing where they tell you that you have to work 7 to 12 every single day in order to make good progress? That's kind of true. What's up guys, and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'll be talking about how I manage my time and how I manage to make progress on my own side project, which I'm hoping to turn into a startup while having a day job. So the basic gist of it is that I work 9 to 7:30, 7 sometimes. After that, I try to take a break from work. I have some dinner, I talk on the phone, and at 9:30 or so, that's when I switch gears and start working on my startup. How I plan my day is I try to do things at the same time. I tend to wake up at 9:15 every single day. At 9:30, I get to work. And at 11:30, sometimes 12, I have lunch. And during my lunch break, I reach out to people on Reddit. I respond to Reddit comments, and I try to respond to DMs. So after an hour, I get back to work, and then from 1 to 7:15 to 7:30, I am working once again. After work, I try to have dinner at 7:30, always the same time, and then after that, I have a break where I do something else besides work until 9:30, which is when I resume my work. Now 9:30 is really where the action starts. At 9:30, I am focusing on interacting with the 4 users I currently have for my service. I talk to them, I ask them questions, I try to pick their brain about pain points they're currently having with the problem I'm trying to solve. I try to better understand the problem, I try to better understand their situations. Is there something that I should be celebrating with them? Were they able to make progress towards that customer success goal, which is for me to be able to find these people internships and jobs by having them directly message hiring managers. And after that, I usually reserve some time to edit my YouTube videos. I also do a lot of writing on Medium, and both YouTube and Medium are just ways for me to better understand the startup concepts that are required for the startup building process. It's important for me to be able to express these ideas so I can confirm that I actually understand them, and that really helps create focus in my startup building process. So as we all know, the startup building process can sometimes be quite overwhelming. You can face unexpected challenges, like your users might drop off, your site might go down, no one might be responding to your Reddit DMs. I've DM'd over, I think, 500 people now, and I've so far only converted 4 of them into users of my service. I also have a subreddit that I try to manage from time to time, which has actually grown rapidly. It's now at 114 members, which is all right for a subreddit that's only 3 to 4 weeks old. But my point is, it can get stressful sometimes. It can become a grind, and it's going to become a grind. And what you want to do in those situations is you just want to stick to the plan. For me, it's Reddit DMs, talking to my users, acquiring new users. Those are my 3 areas of focus. I know what I have to focus on, so when the emotions do come, when I do feel a bit overwhelmed, I know, okay, focus on that one task at hand and then keep going. By having defined focal areas, I'm able to focus on one thing at a time so I don't get overwhelmed. I don't really try to look ahead, I try to look at what's right in front of me. This has worked pretty well so far for building my startup. I'm focusing on the 4 users I have, making them as happy as possible so that they can generate word of mouth that will get their friends to start using the product. It's all about focusing on what's right in front of you, and make sure your tasks are of a manageable size, and focusing on individual tasks one after the other. You'll be less likely to feel overwhelmed. But what if something unexpected happens? Your users all drop off, or your website crashes because some bug was in your code base that you weren't able to catch. What do you do when unexpected circumstances arise? Well, you have to first revisit why you're doing what you're doing. Are you doing it as a means to an end? Are you doing it as a way to get rich, or maybe show off? Like, is that what you're doing it for, or are you actually doing it for the process? Are you actually doing this because you enjoy it? So I personally find this as a very fulfilling end, a very satisfying end. I'm actually using my abilities to create a new solution to an existing problem. For me, that's a great end in itself already. It's not really a means to an end. I'm just naturally drawn to this. I just do this regardless. And that is really why I work after work. It's because I'm just drawn to it. I'm just inclined towards it. There's really no practical end I'm after. I'm never gonna stop. I'm probably gonna keep doing this because I just enjoy it for the sake of itself. The process is the outcome. So ask yourself why. Why are you doing it? If you're drawn by something that's outside of the process, you'll most likely be more prone to getting overwhelmed, to getting stressed out, because you're always chasing that end that might actually never come. So my advice, if you're actually trying to build a startup, is to just try to focus on what you're doing and whether you enjoy it or not. And if you don't enjoy it, really question if building a startup is really something that's for you, because it can get quite challenging. And if you're not enjoying the process, it's gonna feel like this eternal grind until you reach this magical end. And then after a few weeks, you're gonna get used to it, and then you're gonna be back into this grind mode. So question if you really wanna be living your life in grind mode for years, months, days, and then only to have those few days or weeks of non-grind mode and then get back to grind mode again. Is that how you wanna live your life? Also, when it gets overwhelming, think about the little small rewards that you've gotten so far, the small pieces of validation that you've gotten so far from applying what you've learned. So for me, I always read on Medium. I read a lot of books about startups, and I talk to a lot of people, and it seems like the most important thing right now is user feedback at the early stages. And that's what's really driving me every single day. It's getting my users, my 4 users, closer to the customer success goal, which is getting them an internship, getting them a job. That's really been what's been driving me. I don't really get taken aback or overwhelmed by the strains of building a startup. I know it's gonna be hard, I know it's gonna be stressful at times, but I've accepted it as part of the process. I'm sticking to a plan, and so far, it's actually delivering results. So going back to where this video started, how exactly am I able to work on my own side project while still working a day job? How am I still driving myself towards working on a side project? Well, the reason is because it's something I enjoy. The process itself is the outcome. I just do it because I'm inclined towards it. I'm drawn to it. It's something that I can't help but do. And if you were to ask me, why do you work after work? My question would be, why not? Why would you not work after work? Just like you play video games, I like to edit YouTube videos. I like to work on my startup because it's actually changing the perspectives and potentially lives of the people I encounter. So yeah, that's really why I work after work. And how I work after work, I was able to cover. I was able to tell you guys a bit more about how I structure my day. I try to make sure everything I do is done at a very specific time, so there are very few surprises. Of course, things come up from time to time, but generally I can expect to have certain tasks at certain times, so I know what to do at every single hour of the day. So that's it, guys, for this video. And to leave you guys with one last piece of advice that you probably heard many times, it's that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Things take time. Things don't just take off out of nowhere, at least at the start. It's all about just being consistent, consistently delivering value to your users, consistently applying the concepts that you encounter in your readings, and also understanding that it's all a process. The key really is to like this whole process of building a startup. If you don't, you'll probably quit maybe a few months down the line. The key is to really like it, but you can't really force yourself to like it, nor can you actively like it. You just like it or you don't. There's really no room for forcing, honestly. So ask yourself if you actually like building a startup. Is it something you're drawn to? Is it something you're inclined towards? Is it something you're curious about? And if not, I would question if this is really something that's for you. So that's it, guys, for this video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, smash the like button. If you guys want to see more of this content, definitely hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.